Beloved friends, welcome once again in grace and peace through our Lord Jesus Christ. We have journeyed through Matthew chapters 1 through 9. We saw Jesus' identity and authority as Messiah, his teaching on kingdom living, and his miracles, healing, and calling of disciples. Now, in Matthew chapter 10, Jesus takes the next step. He commissions his 12 disciples. This is the moment they graduate from students to apostles, or sent ones. This chapter is a manual for kingdom mission for then and now. First, the 12 disciples. Jesus calls ordinary men, including fishermen, a tax collector, and a zealot. The deep law is found in the number 12. It symbolizes the 12 tribes of Israel from Genesis 49. Jesus is reconstituting Israel, establishing a new spiritual kingdom. God calls availability over ability. Kingdom work starts with ordinary hearts willing to obey. Next, authority given. Jesus gives them power over unclean spirits and disease. This mirrors Exodus chapters 7 through 12, where God's power was shown through Moses. Now, that power is delegated to his followers. Disciples act as agents of restoration. Kingdom authority is real, spiritual, and transformative. Then the instructions.
Wait, he said, do not go to the Gentiles. I thought Jesus came to save the whole world. Why is he ignoring everyone else right now?
It is about covenant priority. God promised Abraham in Genesis 12 that his family would be blessed first, in order to bless the world later. Jesus honors the promise to the lost sheep of Israel. The mission eventually goes global, but the first offer must go to the children of the covenant.
And shake the dust off? That sounds dramatic. What does dust have to do with judgment? Is that a cultural insult?
It was a Jewish custom. When Jews traveled in Gentile lands, they would shake the unclean dust off their sandals before re-entering Israel. By telling the disciples to do this to Jewish towns that reject them, Jesus is saying something radical. If a town rejects the king, they are no longer God's people. They are just like the heathen Gentiles. It is a sign of judgment.
Then he says, sheep among wolves. That sounds like a dangerous mission. And wise as serpents? I thought the serpent was the bad guy in the Bible.
Kingdom work invites opposition. This connects to Jeremiah 1, where God warns the prophet he will face enemies but promises to be with him. Regarding the serpent, this refers to Genesis 3, where the serpent was described as crafty. Jesus wants them to be intellectually smart about danger, but innocent and pure in their motives. No stupidity, but no malice.
But then he says not peace but a sword. I thought Jesus was the Prince of Peace. Why is he talking about breaking up families? That sounds intense.
This quotes Micah chapter 7 verse 6. Kingdom allegiance is primary. If a family member demands you reject God, a sword of division cuts the relationship. Loyalty to the king must be higher than loyalty to biology. If you love your family more than God, that is idolatry.
And take up his cross? I see crosses on necklaces, but what did it mean back then? Is he saying we literally have to die?
In the first century, a cross wasn't jewelry. It was a state-sponsored death sentence. To take up a cross meant you were already dead to society and walking to your execution. Jesus is saying that to follow him, you must treat your old selfish life as if it is already dead. You cannot follow the king if you are trying to save your own skin.
Finally, the cup of cold water. Is God really watching the tiny stuff like that?
Absolutely. The kingdom economy is precise. Even the smallest act of kindness done for a disciple gets recorded in heaven. If you receive a prophet, you get a prophet's reward. You share in the glory of the mission just by supporting it. So, Matthew chapter 10 teaches us that ordinary people are called to extraordinary kingdom work. Authority is given to proclaim and demonstrate God's power. Faith and obedience are essential. We must rely on God, not money. Persecution is expected, but God provides protection, and kingdom loyalty surpasses family, wealth, and social norms. Jesus commissions his disciples to go into the world as his hands and feet. Thank you for exploring Matthew chapter 10 with us. Next, in Matthew chapter 11, we will see Jesus' ministry and teaching, revealing the Father and responding to doubt, highlighting the kingdom's message of rest. Remember God's promise, fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name, you are mine. You are known, you are loved, and you are his. Subscribe and join us for new videos every Wednesday and Saturday. When you like and subscribe, you help this word reach the ends of the earth. May the Lord bless you and keep you. I will see you in the next video.